Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. As you have heard, my name is Nyakinyanya Japhet. Nyakinyanya Japhet. Hello. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. My name is Padlight, but that's my name. Today, as you have been told, we want to share a lot of things that can make us to be successful as students, right? Yes. One of the things that we want to talk about, as you know, in our daily lives, as we come to school to make our life to be better. How many of you want to be successful? By show of hands, how many of you want to be successful? Thank you. Now you can put your hands down. Now, when we talk about success here, there's some of the things that we need to know, right? Are we together? Because for you to succeed, it is like you are in a channel, right? When you are in a channel, there's some of the things that you need to know. One of the things that you need to know is you need to know yourself, who you are. So I want us to talk about self-awareness. Self-awareness. Maybe the question that you can ask yourself is, what is self-awareness? Do you know when you talk about self-awareness, if you look to yourself, when you wake up in the morning, when you want to come to school, obvious, you go to the mirror, right? The person you see in the mirror, and then if there's something that you want to let on your face, what do? You just take and then you say, hey, okay, your mom tells maybe you are looking, right? And then we have some other pupils, when they go to the mirror, when they look to the mirror, they see the face they see in the mirror, they say, I don't what? I don't love the face I see in the mirror. But now, as we all know, as we are students, what we can just say that for us to have a very successful life, because life itself, for you to be successful, you need to be aware. You need to know yourself. Okay. Because you want to see how you can be successful. You need to know what are some of the steps. Because life, as we have said, life is making steps. You cannot make a step if you don't know who you are. Right? When you talk about, you want to know about who you are, there's one thing that you need to know. For you to be successful, like now you score good grades. Like now when you talk about scoring good grades, and then you go to the high school, from the high school you go to the university, you start the career that you want. I know most of you, they have the careers that they have admired. Most of you, they want to be lawyers. Most of you, they want to be the advocates. Most of you, maybe they want to be very successful business people. But this one can happen if we do what? If we know who we are. How do we know who we are? For us to know who we are, one of the things that we need to know, when you look at a mirror, when you go to the home, you look at the mirror. The person you see at the mirror, just know that person you see, it is you, and it is the person who can make your future to be successful. Are we together? So how many people, most of the pupils, they fail because what? One of the things that they just fail, it is because they are not aware about themselves. Another thing that you need to be aware about. For you to be successful, you must know your strength. You must also know your weakness. Most of those people who have succeeded academically, even in the career-wise, they have succeeded because they are aware on what they can do. That's why we do say that as students, when you want to make your life to be successful, when you want to make your life to be better, you need to know what you can do. What you are able to do, right? Are we together? So for this one to happen, when you sit down, there's some of the things that you need that you know that you can do. Let's see, for example, if it's about the subjects that you do, right? Are we together? Like maths, you are the best in maths. You can be best in English. You can be best, you know what you can do. Academically, for you to be successive, I want to tell you, it is not all about what you can do in class. Because even for you to be successful, we can go back to the home. Right now, for you to be successful, you need to know yourselves. How many of you, sometimes have you ever get sad? Have you ever get sad? How many of you today morning when they wake up, maybe he or she was sad? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. Now another question. Thank you very much. Hello? Thank you. Now that if you know that when you need to know the time when you get sad, like what makes you to be sad, right? If you know what makes you sad, you need even to know that getting sad can make you not to succeed. Because those people who get sad, they get sad, even they get emotions, even they can throw things away. You have never seen a student who is very sad, even he throws even books down, he can tear the books, all right? Are we together? We have other ones, when they are sad, they can fight each other, simply because of what? They are very sad. Because when we do that, that one makes us, when we just know that how we can get angry, because angry can make you not to be successive. So the good thing is that as you are getting to know yourselves, you need to know how you can manage not to be sad. One of the things that you can get to be sad, if you want to, as you are making your life to be better, one of the things that you can do, as you know yourself, we have said is that if you know that you get sad, you can control yourself, right? Are we together? You can control yourself. If you wake up at the morning, if it is your friend who makes you to be sad, just know that whatever starts from you, you can control. Are we together? Because when you get sad, have you ever seen people who are sad, even they want to say, they tell their mother that now that because I'm sad, I will not go to school again, right? I want to tell you that the first of the things that you need to know, as you are knowing yourself about emotions, you need to know how that when you get sad, how you can control yourself. Getting sad cannot make you to be successful. Are we together? So for those ones who sometimes when they are sad, they can throw the books, they want to fight, I want to tell you from today, if you are unable to know, you don't know how to manage that, you can visit our teacher, you can tell him, now, teacher, I want to know how I can live a life that cannot make me to be sad so that it can affect my education. Are we together? Not only that, we come to the times when you are happy, right? Like now when you heard about my name, you heard about everyone was happy, right? There's are times maybe when you are happy, do you know when you are happy and when you are not happy? Here now that we have known about ourselves, about how as we want to be successive, we must learn how to control our happiness, because you cannot be happy always, right? And then I want to tell you that for us to be successful, life itself, it has ups and downs. As you study, there is other times when you get like life has made you to be sad. When you are to be sad, it is not the end of what? It is not the end of the world. Just know there is a time when you will be happy, there is a time when you will not happy. The good thing is that what we can do as students, because we want to be successive, it is we need to control how to react on those occurrences. What about if it is your friend who has abused you? Maybe he has said that you look like the one who is black. He said that you look like a monkey. Are you going to get upset? No. What I want to tell you. Thank you. Let me tell you a story. There was one time when I was in school, I was young like you. So in my class, among all the students were very proud. So my students used to, my fellow students used to see me, and then when they used to see me, they were not happy with me. Right? They used to call me names. Like now they can say, you look black as monkey. So what I did, you know what I did? I used to think like now that they have called me, I will not make it in life. Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? Yes. Not only that, you can be someone who can look at you. They say that you are very ugly. Okay? They say that they don't love you because you are ugly. So we are talking about self-awareness. How can you be how can you know yourself? I want to tell you that every one of us, whether very black like a monkey, whether very black like charcoal, and the other one, whether it is brown or it's what, any color that we have does not have anything to do with our academics, right? We have some people who are very black and who have made it in life, right? Are we together? What about if, for example, when people can see you, they say that boy is very thin. I don't even want to associate with them. That person is very fat. I don't want to associate with them. They see that he is shapeless. Are we together? I want to tell you that whatever we do, if you want to be successful, right? Even people can call you names. People can say that you cannot make it. It is about you. It is about your life. Are we together? So even if whatever people can talk about you, does not have to do with your performance in school. Are we together? The good thing is that if you know yourself, if you know what you can do, that's when you can improve, that's when you can make a good performance. Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? So I want to say another thing I want to say. How many of you starting now, whether you are a thin, whether you are a fat, who are going to love themselves? Just raise your hands. Raise your hands. Who are going to love themselves? Even if you are going to be called the names. Are we together? Are we together? Thank you. Now, I want us to go to another thing. Hello? 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 Now that we have known how we can know ourselves, another thing that I want to talk about, it is about what can make us, what are some of the things now that I've said that we have known about the self-awareness. We want us to see like now that we have known ourselves, what are we supposed to do? Most people, we have two questions that we need to know about. Most people, there's a question they like to ask themselves. Instead of, they like asking, why? Even today, for example, the teacher sent it to you, go and bring me the book. He said, why me? If today, for example, if you have failed maths, you would ask yourself, why have I failed? For us to be successful, for us to make it in life, what we need to, don't ask why. Don't ask why. What about if your mother has bought for your siblings, maybe your sister and a brother, he has bought clothes and he has left to you. You are going to ask your mom, why me? When you ask why me, you are just attempting to go what? You are making yourself, you are looking to yourself like you cannot succeed, right? Instead of asking why, just love yourself. Life has challenges. There comes a time when sometimes maybe you didn't read well, you failed. It doesn't mean that it is the end of life, right? Are we together? Are we together? So if you fail today, if for example today you have failed, it doesn't mean it is the end of the world. You need to know that instead of asking why, ask what? Ask what? Right? Are we together? Like now, I mean that if you ask what, like for example if you are coming to school, you need to ask yourself, what am I going to achieve? Right? Like now, if you are going to have the exam, don't ask yourself, for example, if you have been given a test, don't ask why are we going to be tested for the test. The question that you need to ask yourself, what am I going to get out of this? What are the grades am I going to get out of this? Because if you ask yourself, what am I going to get? It's going to make you to succeed. Another thing I want to tell you, for you to be successful, for you to be aware, most of us want to be wants to be the doctor? How many of you want to be doctors? Thank you. How many of you want to be lawyers? How many of you want to be teachers? Thank you. Hello? How many want to be a police like me? Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, thank you. Now we want to go into another step. We have talked about the two questions that we need to ask ourselves. Apart from now, let us now see what are some of the things now that because we are aware that we can do, what are some of the things that we need again to do. I said we are making a journey towards our success. This is what we call habits. Habits, it is what you do on a daily basis. For example, when you wake up, when you are on the weekend, right? Most of the people, I know, most of the people, when they are at home, like now when you are in the afternoon, most of you, they went maybe to, they like watching. Most of you, they like maybe, they went to swimming. Most of you, maybe they like watching the songs. Now that because you know you want to make your life to be successful, because you want to succeed in life, because you want to get a good grade, this is what you call, you need to make a choice on what to choose, right? You need to make the choices, to choose the habits, right? For you to be successful as students, I want to say that you need to choose the good habits, right? The habits that can make you to succeed. Like now, if you like, for you students, what I can tell you, you need to read the books instead of watching the things that cannot make you succeed. Most of the students have failed. Most of the students in schools, they are doing the things which cannot make them successful. Like now we have the students who have started smoking because of the movies they watch. So I want to tell you that anything we do, we need to make a good choice because we want to make our life to be better. As you all know, for example, we start to have the habit of the smoking, it can make you, it can worsen your health. It can make you to be the addict. Are we together? Because if you start smoking, your life is not going to be better. I want to say that for us to be successful, we need to see whatever that we do. Let us do the things that can make us to succeed. Not only that, let us come to the watching when the movies. I know when you are free at home, what are some of the movies you watch? Movies can make you, it can affect you. Like now there was a student, someone because of what he was watching, he made even to kill his parents, right? Are we together? So I want to tell you that when you are with your parents, because you know what you want in life. Because whatever that you want in life, you want to make your life to be successful. Are we together? So what you need to do, if you get that, there's some people who are watching the sites which are going to make you to not to succeed. You need to make a good choice. Are we together? Hello? Are we together? I want to say that for us to be successful, not only that, look into our country. Most of the students, like now, when you go to the university, most of the students, they have turned to start relationships that are very destructive. Now here, I think now at our age, all of us, this is the time that we need to, for us to be, we say that our channel of making yourself to have a very beautiful life, a very successful life. It is a channel that we say that you need to know what are some of the steps that you make. Again, when I'm here, what to watch, for us to be good students in the future, if we want to succeed in our career, we have to be very careful what to watch. How many of you want to be failures? How many of you want to be failures? Obvious, everyone wants to be successful, right? If you want to be successful, I want to tell you that you need to anything that you watch, make sure you watch something that makes you to be successful. If you see there's some of the sites that you watch, like now you see, as you are young like this, let me tell you, because we tell you out of experience. We have some of our friends who was one time we were sitting together, maybe started having relationships when they were young. Right now they are school dropouts. When they are from 1, from 2, they have children, right? Are we together? When you have children, are you going to make your life to be successful? You cannot, because you are going to start having children. What about the gentlemen? If you start having relationship as early as now, you will not concentrate on school. Just know, because if you know what you want in life, if you want to be successful, for example, just be you. Just know that do the things at the right time. Are we together? Because after all, what we are here, we have come here because we want to make our life to be better. There's other ones who are looking and saying that, if I look at my mom, my dad, they are successful. Your mother and your father, they made their life long time ago. The time we are talking about now, we are talking about how you can make your life. Because one time, your parents are going to leave to be you, to leave you alone. How are you going to survive? You don't have education, you don't have anything, you don't have a job, you are going to be a street boy, right? Have you ever seen a street boy? How many of you have seen a street boy? Thank you. So if you want to be successful, I want to tell you that for you to be successful, thank you very much. Hello? Thank you. Now, if we want to be successful, if we want to make our life to be better in the future, we have said that we need to work on ourselves. We need to make our choices. We need to work on relationships. It is not the right time to have relationships. Are we together? I want to say that relationships, right now, the time that we have, it is to read and make ourselves to pass exams. When we pass exams now, we shall make our life to be better. Another thing that I want to talk about, as you know, again, if we don't know ourselves, if we don't make the good choices, because those students who don't know themselves, you get them, we have what you call self-esteem. When we talk about self-esteem, we have those people, how you feel about yourself. Are we together? We have those students because now they don't want to know themselves, because they just hate themselves. You get that? Because they're hating themselves, they don't want to love themselves, their performance goes down. So now that we have known that, for us to be successful, we need to be what? If we know what we can do, we can love what we can do. Are we together? If we know what we can do, we can love what we can do. Like now, I've said, if we know the life, for us to be here, we are here because we want to make our life to be better. Hello? Yes, I want to say that life must be better if we choose to know ourselves. If you know that, even if what we can make, when we talk about, we have what you call high self-esteem. Those people who know themselves, who know what they can do, they have what you call high self-esteem. High self-esteem, it is when you love yourself, you know what you can do. Are we together? Now, let me ask you a question. How many of you know what they can do? Right? For example, how many of you who can run, for example, 100 kilometers? Just raise your hand. You can't do that? Okay, another question. You can? Yes. Thank you. Now, not only that, another question I can ask you. How many, for example, we have the talents. How many of you know who are the best in dancing? You know what you can do like now dancing, right? For example, if I can come like we have a dancing competition, right? So if you know that you can dance, like now, if you know how you can dance best. Just know that you can do the best. Not only that, how many of you know, for example, who can be the good speakers like me, who can stand here and speak? Thank you. We have so many of them. Another thing I want to tell you that if you know that what you can do, you can make your life to be better. Another thing I want to talk with you. For those ones who don't love themselves, for those ones who don't want to know themselves what they can do, you get to have a lot of. Have you ever heard about stress? Have you ever heard about stress? Because you get, most of you, they don't want to know they don't want to know themselves. They don't know what they can do. They are just there, right? Now, because they are just there, they just say they fail the exams. Because now they are failing exams, you get even the other students, they are calling them, now they are calling them, they are very what? They are very what? Somebody who has failed, how do you call them? How do you call them? A failure, yes. Now because that, you can be a failure if you don't want to know what you can do. I want to say that if you want to have a very beautiful life, how many of you have heard about mental health? Have you ever seen thank you very much. Have you ever seen people who are so stressed, who are unable to concentrate in school? So I want to say that if we want to be successful, we need to know ourselves. Those students who want to know themselves, they know what they can do. Even they know, when you talk about knowing yourself, we even say that you even need to know what you cannot do, right? Are we together? What about, for example, if you know what you cannot do, you cannot be stressed, right? Are we together? What about, for example, hello? For example, let's say, for example, when we talk about weakness are normal. Sometimes you may get some people, when you are being told to dance, you cannot be able to dance like other students, right? Don't hate yourself. Don't say that now, why me? Instead, we have something that you can do better. For example, if you don't know how to dance well, you can do what? You can speak like me. For example, you can learn, right? I want to say that all of us, we are unique, right? So don't be stressed because of that. Not only that, if you know yourselves, even if people can call you names, even if people can say that this person cannot make it in life, if you have the capability of knowing yourself, I want to tell you, even the performance, you can improve. If you are getting a low marks, you can get low marks because you don't love yourself. I want to say that whatever the performance you get in school, you need to say that, you need to give yourself, you need to say that anytime, anything that you get, you have to do what? You have to make some steps. Loving yourself, and loving yourselves is going to make you successful. I've said that as we are making progress in life, sometimes we fail, sometimes we do what? It is normal. But what you need to do, sometimes if something has happened, let's say for example today you have got low marks, don't hate yourselves. Go to the teachers, you can go to the teacher Petty, ask him, how can I improve my performance? Instead of getting stressed. As you know, when you get stressed, stress can make you to get out of school. You go to the hospital. You start having headache. You start maybe, for example, it can create you for you to have what? It can create you for you to start talking like a mad. Have you ever seen a mad? Yes, that's how it starts. It starts because how you do what? If you don't love yourselves. Students who love themselves, they have good performance. Students who love themselves, they know how to make good performance. Are we together? I want to say that if you want to make yourself better, love yourself. If today people can talk to you, if people they say that you are not attractive, if people they say that now that we don't love you, just say that I am, like now the Bible says that I am fear-free and wonder-free man. Are we together? Because if you start loving yourself, your life starts to be improved. I want to say that for us to have a very successful life, life itself can be better, can be easy. If we do what? If we love ourselves. How many of you are going to love themselves? Just clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. Now, another thing that we can talk about. I want now to talk about how can we make ourselves to succeed. Education is the key to success. Without education, you cannot progress. Without education, you cannot make your life, you cannot make progress. The question that you need to ask yourself, the question that you can ask yourself when 10 years coming, it is about what did you make with the life that you have. Most of you, when you are coming to school, when you wake up, you come today, you come tomorrow, you come with the other day. How are you making your life to be better? The only thing that you can make your life to be better, it is about having good grades. When you wake up in the morning, do you read? Are you making use of your time? I can remember very well. Time is a good thing. If you know how to make use of your time, life can be better. Like now, when you wake up in the morning, there comes a time. It will come at a time when if you are not working hard right now, you will start regretting. I want to just say, regardless where you come from, if you love yourselves, you can make progress, you can succeed. Are we together? Are we together? Are we together? Thank you. I want to say that in our daily lives, education is going to make you to succeed. Another thing I want to tell you, for you to be successful, you need to have a good character. How many of you, when you talk about a good character, it's about what you do. Okay? Even at home, even your teachers, are you obeying your teachers? When they talk to you, are you the one when they talk, you talk? Are you the one when you are being given an assignment, you don't do the assignment? You cannot succeed if you don't do assignment. You cannot succeed if you disobey. Start practicing as now. Right? Most of the people that you see on the television, most of the people who see they have succeeded in life, those people, they were the people who had what? Who had good characters. Good characters can make you to be successful. What about if you have bad characters? Like now you are rude, you want to bite other people, you cannot be successful. I want to say that for us students, if we want to be successful, those small things that we do to ourselves, to other people, to even our teachers, let us have a character. Let us have a character of whereby we obey our teachers. Once we have been told maybe to do assignment, we do assignments without copying from other students, right? We know we have other students, when they have been given assignments, they copy from other students. If you are going to copy, you will fail, right? Because exams you do are wrong. Are we together? I want to say that if we want to be successful, we have said, today we have talked about we need to know ourselves, right? And how do we know ourselves? We know what we can do. Like for example, where we are the best at. We have talked about, for us to know where we are the best at, for example, the performance. Are we together? If it is about the subjects, whatever that we can do, let us do it in a positive way. Let us look ourselves where we can. And let us not hate ourselves. Are we together? We have other people, maybe for example, if they start comparing with others, people who know themselves, they don't need to compare with others. Because you know what you can do. Hello? Now that we have talked that, before I proceed, I want you to ask questions, right? Because you said you want to be successful, I want you to ask me questions, right? Hello? Who have a question? Yes? Speak louder. How can you know? You are stressed. Your strength. Okay. Yes, how can you know your strength? Your strength, it is what you can do best, right? Let's say, for example, if my strength, it is what I know I can do best. Are we together? Let's say, for example, I've been given maths. I know how I can do maths very well. What about if, for example, I can sing? I know how to sing very well. Are we together? For example, if she can come here, we say that who knows how to sing? She can sing very well. That's what you call strength. And again, not only that, when you talk about strength, we have said it is what you are best at. For example, you can be in your discussion. The teacher has been given you a group discussion. You know how to calculate maths and you get it very effective. That's your strength. And then when we talk about, let me make it clear for us for others to understand. Another thing we talked about the weakness. Weakness, it is where you are weak. You need to improve. Are we together? Whenever that you need to improve to make it to be best, that's where your weakness. Where you can do, where you cannot do it better. Another question? Another question? Yes? Yes, what's the question? You don't have a question? Another question? Yes? Yes, he has asked, is it a must you have to get maths? You know maths is everything, right? Because for you to get a good course, you have to do well in maths. Are we together? Because maths, for example, without maths, let's say for example you want to be a doctor. You cannot be a doctor if you get a D minus. Are we together? So for those ones who want to be doctors, for those ones who want to be lawyers, you have to be best at maths. I don't want to say not only that. We have other courses, maybe they can do what? They can accommodate you. Yes? Yes, stand up. You have asked how to maintain your weakness. Okay. Maybe he has asked how to improve on your weakness. The only way that you can improve on your weakness, let's say for example, it is where you are weak. For example, it is maths or English that you are not best at. The only way you can do that, it is you make the extra time you have, you go to your teacher. You can go to your teacher. Let's say, for example, it is Teacher Betty. You go to the Teacher Betty. That extra math, it will motivate you. It will make you. For example, if it is the English, you don't know how to put the vocabularies and what to improve your composition. You go and see your teachers. Your teachers, they can give you. They can make you on how to improve on your weakness, the area of your weakness. Are we together? Not only that. Let's say, for example, if it is you are not best at science, when the teachers come to class, you didn't get there's some of the things which you didn't understand well. So what you can do is, at your own time, maybe you go and see the teacher. You see two of you. He will show you how to improve. And not only teachers. Let's say, for example, what about for example, now the activities. Let's say, for example, you want to have a hobby of dancing, and then you want to dance, but you are weak. You can go and talk to our professionals who are going to make sure that you know that, right? Another question? Yes? Yes? Okay, how can you improve on your weakness? First thing that to improve on your weakness, you need to accept that you have weakness, right? Because you cannot improve on your weakness if you don't accept that you have a weakness, right? When you accept you have a weakness, so what you need to do, you need to accept. When you accept now, you start working you start asking yourself, what can I do? Right? What can I do? Are we together? For example, if, for example, we have said that weakness that you have, you look for a pen and a paper, you write what you can do. For example, now, if it is about maths, if you want to improve on your grades that you score very low, you ask yourself, what can I do? For example, you can just say, you can talk to your parents, they look for the teachers during your half term, during your holidays. You can talk to your parents, they can hire for a teacher, they can look for a teacher to make sure that you make your time, you improve on that where you did get. Are we together? Are we together? Not only that, you can look again, you can go to the teachers, you talk with them, he will make sure that wherever you don't understand, he makes you understand. Are we together? Another question? Another question? Thank you very much. Last but not least, because, okay. Yes? Yeah? Yes? Yes. Now he has asked what motivates me to be a motivation speaker. One of the things that motivates me is because I want to see people succeeding. Because through motivation, it makes most of the students to succeed. Are we together? Because the only thing that I want at the end of the day, it is to make sure that I motivate other students to be successful. Because for you to able to enjoy the life, you need to do what? You need to make sure you are like my platters. When I see people failing, failure is not good, right? Failure is not good. So when failure is not good, so what I can do, it is to tell you how life can be easy. I can remember when I was in school, I was performing very poorly. Like now, I can remember when I was writing the composition I wrote when I was in class 4 before going to class 5. I was scoring 10 out of 40. But now, our head teacher brought a motivational speaker who shows how life was going to be difficult, how to accept ourselves. I used to hate myself. I was even English. I didn't know how to speak English. But through the motivational speaker who came to our school, who told us how to love ourselves. Now that's when I started to love myself. Now I say that because I don't want to see other people failing. I decided to be a motivational speaker. Are we together? Thank you. Any question? How many of you are promising me that at the end of this term, you are going to improve on your result? On your exams and results? Thank you. Now we have said this. For you to do that, we have said, for you to improve on that, we have said, one of the things, yes, hello? We have said like this, if you want to be successful on that, what you need to do is, one, we have said, as you are going home today, go and see what you can do, right? Whenever you see you do best, you continue doing best. Whenever you see that you have weakness, just do what? You can look for the teachers, you go and talk to them on how you can improve, on how you can improve. I want to say that, another thing that I want to say that, just know that, love yourselves. Even if people can discriminate you, even if people can talk bad about you, just know the person who can make your life better, it is you and you. Are we together? Not even your parents can discourage you. Not even your sister. Not even your cousin. Whenever your cousin says that you just say that I can. Are we together? So that you make your life to be better. Thank you very much.